All right, you guys, welcome back to video number 2. We're going to be discussing the fact that Harry has now landed in the UK and went straight to an Invictus event, and there's more information now. So let's just jump in and cover that, shall we? Let's go. Harry landed at Heathrow Airport. It was not discussed how he arrived. I have absolutely no doubt, of course it'll be shown later, that he flew in by private jet. Harry doesn't take commercial. Now, this is the first time he's been back in the UK since he came over for his 20-minute visit with King Charles back in February after he learned that his dad had cancer. And of course, now it's coming out that King Charles will not be seeing Harry while Harry is in the UK. Listen, first of all, Charles has a full schedule. He had a full schedule. His stuff is put out months and months in advance. Harry knew that when they set the 10-year anniversary. So while everybody was going, will they, won't they? Oh, and there's an olive branch. I'm so sick of hearing about this non-existent olive branch. There is no olive branch. Nobody trusts Harry. Nobody's going to meet with Harry. Charles will not meet with Harry. It's that simple. It is a spokesman for Harry who said that Harry will not be meeting his father. I'm sorry, he said the Duke. Remember, we hate the royal family, but we have to flash those titles. He said the Duke will not be meeting his father in the UK this week, and it will not be possible due to His Majesty's full program. He has audiences with the United Kingdom Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He has the first Buckingham Palace garden party of the season. He has numerous previous engagements. Could you really blame Charles anyway for not wanting to see him? He's proven himself to be untrustworthy. Harry's statement finished up with, and I'm quoting, "The Duke, of course, is understanding of his father's diary of commitments and various other priorities and hopes to see him soon." Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you, Harry. I mean, it is what it is, and nobody's going to blame Charles. However, he is really busy. He was seen, as you can see above, leaving Windsor Castle in the morning, and then he had to get on a helicopter, which took him into London, and then he was seen entering Clarence House. He had a bunch of papers because he had things he was doing. Then he was seen leaving Clarence House. This man is very busy. So Harry lands, gets in a car, and goes to the Honourable Artillery Company in London. And as you can see, nobody was chasing him. There were no shouts. There were no crowds. Nobody really cared. I think that's so sad to say, but it's absolutely true. So I'm not sure what his whole thing is about security because nobody really cared. So he got in there, and then he went to get out of the car. And he refused to turn around and look at the camera, maybe because he thought somebody might boo him, which I think they very well might have. So, of course, Harry, who brought photographers with him, because, he's got to be sure everything is covered. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix was with him or, camera crews to catch everything. That just wouldn't surprise me at all. He stopped to speak to a member of the company of pikemen and musketeers on his way into the building. He makes sure that, they got some good shots of him. That's so important. So once again, he's wearing his gray suit. Now he gets inside and he gets a hug from Sir Keith Mills, who helped the Royal Foundation with William and Catherine establish the Invictus Games. He was also greeted by Louise Minchin, who I believe was the moderator of the discussions that were going on. So they get called up to the stage. They give Harry his own microphone. He's just like his wife. And the discussion was called, and I'm quoting, "Realizing a Global Community Ahead of the Service." Okay. First of all, Harry doesn't look happy at all. Second of all, I couldn't help but notice in some of these pictures that some of the tables in the front are completely empty. It doesn't even look like the whole thing is full of people. And I think Invictus noticed that too, because then they took some of the pictures of Harry sitting there and they cropped them so that you don't see the empty tables in the front. They also shut off the comments, by the way. So Harry has arrived by himself. His wife couldn't be bothered to come back to the UK with him to show him support. Instead, she's flying off to Nigeria by herself. He invited his entire family, who all said, no thank you. They're saying that Zara or Beatrice and Eugenie could show up, but there's been no confirmation of this. He doesn't have Frogmore anymore. He's going to be staying at a hotel in London because he's not allowed on royal property. And he's not allowed on royal property because he didn't follow the rules to request 30 days ahead of time. Oh, woe is me. You guys, I really have a sneaking suspicion that when he pulls up at the cathedral, he's gonna get booed, and rightfully so. Now, we knew something was going to happen because every time Meghan's away from Harry, she does something to try to draw the attention to her, or she gets somebody to do it. And that's what happened here. Apparently, Archie went ahead and had his birthday without his dad, and the party planner shared the arrangement from outside the house, which I guarantee you would not have been done without Meghan's permission. So she popped it up, and so now everybody's looking at that instead of paying attention to the fact that Harry just landed in the UK. You guys get what I'm saying? So going back to the whole Invictus thing, Harry actually said to the crowd, is Guy Monson here? No, I'm having dinner with him later tonight. For somebody who's so concerned about his safety and his security, why would you let everybody know that you're going to this man's house for dinner? Oh, and by the way, Diana's brother could have offered Harry a place to stay. Diana's sisters could have offered Harry a place to stay. Nobody's offering Harry anything because I think the whole family's over him. That's him on the left, by the way, at the Diana statue unveiling. In the middle of all this, Neil Sean came out with a report saying that Invictus is pushing even harder to have Harry and Meghan removed as the face of the games. And Harry apparently wrote back an email and wrote out in great lengths how Meghan brings unprecedented coverage to the games. And the games would not get that kind of press coverage if it wasn't for Meghan. You're absolutely right, because they would have ripped it off because of Harry. If what Neil Sean said was correct, Harry is not going to step down and he's going to have to, quote unquote, seek advice. In other words, he's going to get an attorney if they want to remove him as the face of Invictus. And they're saying a decision will be made after this week in Birmingham. Now, at the same time, articles are coming out that Charles is trying to send a gift to Archie and it's being blocked. Now, here's the thing. It's something called a shepherd's hut. Apparently, the king gave this playhouse to Prince George, a similar thing. So he wanted to send the same gift to Archie to show that there's no favoritism. And apparently, the person blocking it is Meghan. So supposedly Meghan said, I don't like ostentatious gifts. And she refused this present that the king was going to send. So the king decided, okay, I'm just going to call up. I'd like to talk to Archie. I'd like to say I'm your grandpa. I'd like to wish him happy birthday. But apparently that couldn't happen either because Meghan Markle won't allow it because she wants to talk to Charles and Charles doesn't want to talk to her. So she's being the gatekeeper. If you won't talk to me, you're not talking to him. I have to tell you that when these kids get older, if William doesn't pull their titles, could you imagine these kids who have no contact to the royal family? They never met the king. When William ascends, it'll be because the king passed. And then Meghan's going to be like, oh, yes, he was just the most wonderful. Can you guys see it? These kids are going to grow up and they are going to really resent Meghan for cutting off their relationship with the royal family. I'm telling you. All right, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to leave those comments below and follow me on over to video 3. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's go.